X and iPhone 8 final specs. Here's what you get. Editor's note: we first published this story on September 12, but updated it now that the iPhone X is on sale, and after we reviewed the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus. The iPhone X is the biggest change to Apple's phone lineup in years, introducing an entirely new all-display look and long-sought-after features like an OLED screen and wireless charging. Starting at $999 and now available for pre-order, it also has a supersized price tag to match all those high-end features.But the iPhone X isn't the only new Apple phone coming soon to a pocket near you. Apple has also introduced the iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus as successors to last year's iPhone 7 and 7 Plus. These new phones don't have quite the gangbuster features that the iPhone X can boast, but there are still some improvements to both the processor and camera that will appeal to iPhone fans who balk at paying top dollar for the X.How to tell Apple's latest iPhones apart. Here's a closer look at what you can expect from each new model. iPhone 8 and iPhone X specs. The iPhone X screen, which Apple calls a Super Retina display, is the new phone's most prominent feature, stretching from one end of the device to the other. That gives you 5.8 inches of real estate on a phone that's only slightly larger than the 4.7-inch iPhone 8. More, iPhone X hands-on. Apple also upped the resolution on the iPhone X screen. It's 2436 x 1127 pixels. By comparison, the iPhone 8 Plus tops out at 1920 x 1080. Apple says the iPhone X packs 2.7 million pixels into that screen, or 458 pixels per inch. iPhone's the biggest change, though, is the kind of screen Apple uses on the iPhone X. After a decade of featuring LCD panels on its phones, Apple is switching over to OLED for the iPhone X. That should mean better contrast on the new phone as well as blacks that truly look black. The screen also supports HDR10 and Dolby Vision for sharper, more colorful videos, at least in movies and shows that support those standards. Little has changed with the iPhone 8 and 8 Plus from their predecessors. Those two devices still use LCD panels and retain their respective sizes of 4.7 and 5.5 inches. Resolution hasn't changed from the iPhone 7, that's 1334 x 750 for the iPhone 8 and 1920 x 1080 for the 8 Plus. iPhone 8 and iPhone 8 Plus. Apple's new iPhones have something their predecessors didn't, though. They add the True Tone feature previously found on the iPads. True Tone adjusts color tone on the fly so that it matches the lighting around you. You also get a wider color gamut. The iPhone X introduces the more noteworthy design changes to Apple's iPhone lineup, driven largely by that screen extending across the front of the phone. That means the home button's gone on the iPhone X, replaced by an upward swipe to replicate the old home button press. You unlock the phone with your face instead of your fingerprint, as we'll discuss below. A notch at the top of the screen hosts the front camera and earpiece as well as all the components that support facial recognition. Apple went with a curved all-glass design for the iPhone X. The button on the side of the phone now activates Siri. No more home button to press, remember? For those times you don't want to use the voice-activated Hey Siri command to trigger the phone's built-in assistant. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus don't depart from the look of the existing iPhone lineup, as they still feature home buttons and bezels. However, similar to the iPhone X, Apple has changed up the design, going with a glass and aluminum case to assist with wireless charging. All three of Apple's new phones are dust and water resistant. While you can get the iPhone X in any color you want, so long as it's space gray, also known as black, or silver. The iPhone 8 and 8 Plus add gold to the color mix. Both the iPhone X and iPhone 8 Plus offer the dual rear cameras Apple introduced with last year's iPhone 7 Plus. While both phones offer a pair of 12-megapixel lenses, there are subtle differences. The aperture on the iPhone X telephoto lens is slightly larger at f2.4. More importantly, the iPhone X offers optical image stabilization on both its rear lenses, and it's been more finely tuned for augmented reality with individually calibrated lenses and new gyroscopes and accelerometers. iPhone 8 Plus's dual rear camera. Both the iPhone X and 8 Plus support portrait mode, including the new portrait lighting feature that lets you augment your photos with 5 different lighting effects. More, iPhone 8 Plus vs Google Pixel 2 camera shootout. Apple wins. The iPhone 8 remains Apple's single-lens rear camera offering. It features a 12-megapixel sensor with an f1.8 aperture. Both new iPhone 8s can record 4K video at 60 frames per second and support super slow-mo at 240 fps. You'll find a 7MP selfie cam on all 3 new iPhones, though the true depth camera on the front of the iPhone X is more sophisticated than what either iPhone 8 offers. It supports the